Welcome back to another episode of Get With It. You are here with AKA Camille Buxita, AKA Killer Cam, AKA I'm sitting on the floor of my dad's bedroom because I'm visiting him in Puerto Rico and I am struggling here. And I have no puff on my mic because my friend's dog ate it. So that's where we're at here.
We might as well rename the pod the Struggle Bus.
The Struggle Bus.
I'm your co-host Jayani Smith, aka J Money, and I look like I'm landing at Tilted Towers or I'm answering the call at your local customer service desk. Whatever you choose. And welcome to Get With It. The
girls' room, the Struggle Bus. I'm here for it. I kid you not, when I saw you with the mic, the first thing that went through my head was, welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
This is bad.
I don't know why, but that was the first thing.
Listen, I'm all of those things. I'm working at the drive-through window. I'm answering the phone because your Wi-Fi went out. I'm trying to figure out how to get it back on. And I'm also on the video games right now playing Call of Duty or something.
You can do it all. You do it all. Listen, you do it all. Hey, by the way, the audio sounds great. And that's all that matters, right? Like, we just want people to hear you. We want the people to hear you. That's it.
I mean, y'all can let us know. Y'all want me to come back with this one-ear headphone or what? If the audio is better than the last episode, we can make it happen. I can make it happen for y'all.
We got to make this like a new thing. Like, those headphones got to stay a part of this podcast. Like,
I might bring them back and forth every now and then, give the people a little bit of flavor.
Listen, it's got to be a part of this. We're here. We're on the Struggle Bus, but we're making it work. And that is all that matters.
Yes.
Yes. Well, let's get into it. We got a lot of things going on this week. I mean, let's just start where we need to start because I got to get this off my chest. You know, we got the news from the Supreme Court that Roe v. Wade was overturned this past week. And I don't think I've got words to express my frustrations and my anger toward this decision because you got to think about this, that these 6 justices basically held the American people hostage because most of Americans want abortion to be federally legalized as it's been for the last, since 1972, I believe it was.
The thing is, even if they didn't want it, just don't get one. That's what I'm not understanding.
It don't make nothing. I have a theory. I have my conspiracy theory. So I know that when it comes to moral and ethical decisions, or not know, I believe, a lot of people in positions of power make decisions based off of money and budgets. I have a feeling that this decision was made because they want the federal dollars that are being used on Planned Parenthood and resources like that to be really allocated to different whatever they care about. And I don't know. That's my little like.
See, I got another conspiracy theory. Mine's probably more wild, but yours makes a little sense because I'm like, all right,
it makes no sense. No,
it doesn't make any sense because like they want to force you to have a kid, but we can't keep those kids safe. We can't feed those kids with baby formula because there's a shortage in that. There's a chicken nugget shortage too, so then we can't even feed them after they're done eating baby formula. But it's just like the money is not going to where like you can't take care of all of these kids that's coming. So like make it make sense. But my other conspiracy theory though is that now this is a little wild. I might be a little wild with this.
Give it to me. I'm here.
But something with, and I haven't completely like formulated yet. So this is the first time it's probably coming out of my mouth. But something about like population control after COVID and like because there's been so many deaths related to COVID.
Wow.
Now
never thought about that.
They got to rev things back up a little bit.
People
I don't know. That might be a little bit out there, but regardless, the decision is wild. Our country is at stake.
It is, and it's crazy that we literally have to sit here and think about conspiracy theories because it just makes no sense. Like, I don't want to sit here and do this. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. We just have to make sense of it, and like all I can do is literally either laugh or try to find some sort of reasoning behind it. Because at the end of the day, like there is no sense to this. And what upsets me the most, and we've talked about this, is that this is not going to impact you or me, or it's going to impact people in marginalized communities in lower socioeconomic statuses where they don't, especially in those states that have already made it illegal to get an abortion. And that is what makes me very upset. Beyond the fact that abortions from a medical standpoint are necessary to save women's lives.
Just say you didn't care about us.
Ectopic pregnancies that force women to bleed out. And they have to deal with, doctors have to call lawyers
to figure out whether or not they can,
to get it approved to save a woman's life. Like, what?
They might as well have just said that y'all don't matter to us. And
yeah.
That's it.
Listen, the fight starts here. We are not done. We're not going away. Listen, if we got to go all the way back to the 1970s to get this shit popping again, hey, don't worry about it. We'll make it happen. Because at the end of the day, this is our lives, this is our livelihood, and this is our right to our own choice and our own bodies. Because, at the end of the day, it's just outrageous what's been done. So, well, listen, we're gonna get our people activated and moved. And what's frustrating is I think like the go vote standpoint. These are people that were appointed.
We can't vote for.
That they were appointed by the president of the prior president of the United States. These were not voted upon individuals. There is the theory, well, it's now in the state's control. So it's going to force people to vote. That is not it's not going to solve anything, because you want these really extra uber conservative states to just, it's just outrageous. And at the end of the day, like, voting is not even, we say it, but I mean, it's still important. Don't not do it, but it's just not.
It doesn't fix it's not the end all.
It doesn't fix everything,
yeah,
unfortunately.
It doesn't fix
So
everything.
listen, let's hope for a better tomorrow. We need it for us women. We can't keep going through this type of shit, because it is just outrageous. And we can't be living through unprecedented times. I feel like I'm back in 1970. What? I don't know. Like, we're going through a recession, we're going through this, we're going to that.
Yeah.
Like,
COVID, like, what in the world? Monkeypox.
Monkeypox. Like, I saw the monkeypox in New York. I'm not going back.
What is my 20s come to?
I saw someone I know on Twitter has it. I'm like, that, because you think it's like, oh, it's far and distant.
I bet that's way too close to home.
Yeah, I was like, peace, New York. I'm out for a little bit.
COVID was bad. Monkeypox might be where I draw the line.
Yeah, that's where I draw. I mean, both were awful. So, man, it is, and too much to handle. And now, kind of switching gears a little bit to the BG situation. We just found out her detention's been extended 6 months, and a trial date's been set for July 1st. Heartbreaking stuff. I think this isn't unprecedented in terms of like how Russia has dealt with these types of situations in the past. I think now it's just, again, on everyone, get to your local representatives, get to wearebg.org, find out the ways you can help and get your voice heard in hopes of bringing BG home. Because we saw what Asia Wilson was saying, and it was heartbreaking to see her speak. That's very emotional. At the end of the day, that is our sister, that is our family, that is our women's basketball family and community. And we just want her home, healthy and safely and as quickly as possible. So prayers to her family and to everyone involved. We're hoping to bring her home soon. Again, wearebg.org. Please be sure to go visit and find out how you can contact your local representatives and help bring her home.
Every day that she's without us is too long. And recognizing that, we're going into All-Star Weekend next weekend, and she has been named an honorary captain. Just trying to figure out different ways to keep bringing light to this situation and honoring her while she is over there, and until the government can figure out how to get her back home. But what's your opinion on these All-Star selections? I mean, starters, reserves, snubs. Let me hear them. Let me hear the hot take.
So we had the All-Star selections announced. Our starters are Sue Bird, Sylvia Fowles, Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Candace Parker, Neko Ogwumike, Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, and Jonquel Jones. And then our reserves: Jewel Lloyd, Ryan Howard, Dearica Hamby, Kalia Copper, Ariel Atkins, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Natasha Howard, Breonna Jones, Emma Meesman, Arika Gumbawale, Alyssa Thomas, Courtney Vandersloot. Okay. It's a strong list. I'm not saying it's not a strong list. There are a lot of questions to this list, though. We can't look at this list and be like, oh, yep.
This is the one. We left no one out.
You've got no Diana Taurasi for the first time in I don't know how many years, which that's a thing in itself. You've got no Ezi Magbor, who's been playing incredibly deep, incredibly well this entire season. You have no Kelsey Mitchell, who's leading the league in scoring, or any of the Fever players. And you have no Alicia Gray. I think those were some of the biggest snubs that we saw in this list, and that we didn't see in this list these year. I mean, those players have been playing incredible. I'm happy to see some younger players. Obviously, making this All-Star for the first or second times. Cool to see. But yeah, a lot of questions here. What about you? I mean, listen, that shit was kind of surprising to me.
So when you talk about the younger players getting their chance, that was one thing that I was super excited to see. I know that was something that we talked about. I think it might have been last year when it was the Olympic year, the All-Star game and everything. So that gave opportunity for a lot more players with that. But I think that, like, for example, DT not being on the list, it's so hard to really say, like, hey. Because obviously, like, she deserves to be on that list. Like, she's still one of the greatest players in the league right now. Of course. But I see what so many people, or I feel what so many people talk about when they say, like, there's just so much talent in the league from top to bottom that, like, is it a snub when DT's left off the list when there's a younger player out here that's really hooping? Like,
yeah. Facts.
I don't know. It's just really difficult for me to say. Like, facts. Like you said, like, this list that they have, solid. Like, I don't think there's anybody on this list that I would take off.
Me neither.
But the people that are not on the list that we were just talking about, it's like they probably should have been on the list though. So
no, exactly. And these are all-star caliber players. We're not saying any of that. Like, I think you're right, and that you really, hit it right there. That was like, there's no one I don't know that I would take off to replace, but like, there are a lot of names that I feel like should be on this list. Should be on the list. So it's hard. It's definitely difficult. I mean, Natasha Cloud, another one. There's so many great players in this league. I think the evolution of it has continued to just excel. Like, you don't have the top 12 anymore, top whatever it was. Like, you've got the top 50. Like, you've got so many players just playing at a very high level. It's gotten more and more competitive. But I mean, these all-star rosters, it was interesting. I'm actually pretty surprised by some of the starters. I think more even so than the list
reserves
itself. Having some, number one, I love Sabrina, Kelsey, Jackie. These are incredible players, I'm interested that, some of the, I would say reserves, I think could have been starters, right? I forget the voting counts and how, they're counted into each one. But, I was a little shocked by the starters as well. I think that was like even another part of this that I was like, oh, okay.
Now this is different than how they did it last year or like in previous years, right? Because before, like, we just have captains and then it's not like the full list of starters, right? So like, what are your thoughts on like this new? I mean, I won't lie, I'm here for it because I feel like you keep trying until you get it right. Like, what's the best like combination or way to like set this up? Like, how are you feeling about just the formatting of everything that how they went about this year?
I think they wanted to celebrate Sylvia and Sue's last year, of course, totally understand. I think just name them captains at that point. Like, I don't think there's, I just am saying, like, I don't know if there's a need for co-captains. Like, I'd rather just have Sue and Sil really go out on this really cool note, with a bang, exactly. But at the end of the day, it is kind of cool that we're getting to see like this little, mix of Stu and Asia, who are both young players, well, relatively, to the league and like the next stars, kind of be, at the forefront with some of the greats from the past, or from who set the table for them. So it's interesting. It's definitely something new. I think they just wanted to celebrate those two players, and totally understand that, and very well deserved. I'm interested to see how it is moving forward, if we're going to stick with a format where it's top voted or captains. The fluctuations that are just going to naturally happen in the years to come. I'm very interested to see that. I think that something else I'm really excited about for this All-Star weekend is just, I'm already feeling like it's way more of a planned weekend. There's like a lot more things going on. There's events. It's not just like a 2-day thing anymore. You've got a full 3-day event, or 4-day event, actually, even sometime for some of these brands and some of these outlets. So really cool stuff to see the evolution of that. And I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be really fun. Chicago's a dope city that turns up for the Sky, and I think they're gonna turn up for All-Star just like Vegas has in the years past.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was definitely looking forward to make my way out to Vegas, but the way I saw Chicago out there in them streets after Chicago Sky brought home that championship last year, I know that the city is gonna be lit.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna have a great time. So
See,
I'm
see,
definitely excited.
I'm bad. Like I'm not a Vegas person. I'm sorry to my
Really?
Aces fam. I don't know why. I'm not a fan. I'm not like a gambler. Like I don't
Yeah, that
like
is true. You don't get
I'm
into
like
Dre's though, the pool parties, the day parties?
I don't know about all that. Like just take me to
Not your
Miami.
vibe.
Just take me
Okay.
to Miami.
I
I'll go
mean,
on a
no, I'm
boat.
Miami all the way,
I'll
so
go on
I'm
a
with you on
boat.
that. Yeah.
Get me to the ocean. I'm like, ocean pool, ocean pool.
Hey, Kathy, All-Star Weekend in Miami.
Yeah,
The
please. And bring a
Yams.
team there too so
Yeah,
we
the
can go.
Yams. Can you hear us?
Exactly. But you know what else was pretty crazy? We got to see what happened this past weekend right before the All-Star announcements, honestly, is Tina Charles.
Who saw that coming? Not me.
I did not. I know there had been concern about how the team was looking, energy and attitude wise and whatnot. They've obviously had some really hard times with the loss of BG and each player really respectively trying to manage that. But it was really interesting. And then the terminology was really interesting too. Like it was a contract divorce between her and Phoenix.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that
Me
before.
neither. I mean, and again, I'm not a lawyer. I can't speak to this, but what it sounds like is that both sides just walked away.
Mutually, yeah.
Mutually being like, we're not going to fulfill, and I'm not going to force you to fulfill this contract. I'm out. Peacefully, we're respectfully.
I don't need nothing from y'all. You don't need nothing from me. Like,
and then she went to sign with Seattle. What?
I would love to be a fly on the wall for some of these like conversations, like literally. Just seeing a little bit of fly. But I will say, the Yukon to Seattle channel though.
How many players is it? Is Stewie,
Sue,
Tina? There's 4. I think there's 4.
Gabby.
I'm looking at Gabby.
Yeah,
I think is that it?
That might be it.
That's 4 players.
Yeah, that might be the most. I mean, hey, we had Theus on this episode. Yeah, I was about to say.
That's a third of the roster. Yeah, and then 4 number 1 picks.
Hey, I need to see them go off for the rest of the remainder of the season. I mean, we already talked about having so much talent in one team and that chemistry. Her being traded, a player like that caliber being traded like mid-season, I do wonder like what that transition is going to be. So I'm curious / excited to see what the rest of the season looks like.
Yeah,
but
same. And I feel for Tina, because like I think she always wanted to stay in New York, right? Things happened, things changed, and unfortunately, I don't think they handled it the way they should have when she left. She went to Washington, a team where she expected to almost not necessarily lessen her workload, but yes, with Elena gets hurt, so Tina's workload almost doubles. Goes to Phoenix, expects that BG workload doubles. It's happened to her a few times, and I think for her, like she's looking for a balance, and I feel for her because like at the end of the day, like you want to enjoy and not feel burned out when you're coming to work, and I get that each and every day. It's a very hard thing to balance. So listen, I hope the Seattle journey goes well for her because she's a New York legend. I'm a big fan of hers, both on and off the court. Some of the things she's done. And I'm hoping the Seattle chapter is what it is. It's a good one for her, 100%.
Yep. Well, we got an exciting guest joining us today. I'm super excited about this one. Y'all know how I feel about the DMV. We got Shakira Austin, rookie with the Washington Mystics, joining us. So super excited to have her, and let's kick it off.
Let's do it. Let's get it. We got a very special guest with us today. A rookie, but she don't play like no rookie. Shakira Austin, what's going on, fam? How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, we got the DMV family here.
Yeah. I'm loving it. DMV mate. Period.
Gotta represent. So I mean, listen, let's start there because we've been seeing a lot of great hoopers coming out of the DMV area, not just lately, but for decades and for years on both sides, and men's and women. So like, when and where did you first start playing basketball, and how was that experience once like you kind of started transitioning into like taking it seriously?
Yeah, I mean, I started pretty young, middle school, just playing travel ball. I mean, that's pretty much what has, bred a lot of the athletes coming out the DMV is playing, AAU, going to Boo Williams. Just starting to compete at a young age. It's really led me to really fall in love with this game. And playing at Riverdale Baptist in Maryland, playing at, schools in Virginia. It just feels great to be able to, represent just a power city, a power, culture out here. So
I love it.
Definitely. And I mean, talk to us a little bit just about, sort of that transition throughout high school. I mean, we know you grew up in Fredericksburg and then transferred to Riverdale Baptist your senior year, about it's like an hour and a half away from home. Of course, everyone, if you don't know, the great Riverdale Baptist, I mean, Coach Diane Richardson was there when I was growing up. But just talk to us a little bit about, how you decided to make that transition and then what that was like, coming into like a power program like that.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I was in a pretty smaller area, Stafford, Virginia, Fredericksburg. And, I think me and my family recognized early that, there really wasn't a lot of top talent out there. And, I was able to compete. I was able to still bring a championship to my state town. But I really just want to be better prepared going into college. And I felt like making a move to, go compete against some of the best at Maryland, knowing about Riverdale Baptist. We took a chance and I ended up moving out there with pretty much a stranger. My dad trusted a whole nother family, to pretty much guide me and take me to school. Initially, I was making an hour travel every single morning to school from Virginia to Maryland. And it became to be a lot, but I knew that Riverdale was where I was meant to be and really where I wanted to just grow my game and compete, travel. We were traveling almost like a college, and really figuring out how to balance, education and playing at the highest level. So, I went out there, moved in with a whole new family. They're like my second family now. And, that's pretty much where I put my, I guess just found out who I was on the court, being able to compete, and that just led to me going to Maryland. So
that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, and I mean that I think just kind of speaks to how much dedication you have, like to playing the game, making an hour commute for school. Shit, I mean, I barely want to wake. I probably drove like 15 minutes to school, and I barely wanted to wake up. So like, that's a lot. But
terrible.
I mean, I'm DMV through and through.
Yeah.
What do you? What is the type of pride you think that you kind of carry as a player now, playing at the highest level? Having grown up playing in the DMV, I just feel like it's just different type. You have a different type of game, a different type of attitude.
Yeah.
It's just different.
I mean, just playing here, like we just come with a different swag. Like we got a level of confidence that, some people just aren't meant to have. And being from the DMV, playing here in high school, playing here in college, it was just only fitted to come back and, play for my hometown again. And, people might question, like, oh, you could have went to, another team, had a bigger role, and I just don't think anything can top playing, for your home. I don't take this for granted. And, this is something that's built who I am as a player. My confidence is, the reason I play the way I do is because I feel like I'm from the DMV and we were able to hoop against some of the best. I mean, I played against, like 4 or 5 girls at Maryland who were from, Maryland. And, we just come different. So it's only fitted that I come back, full circle to play for my city and just trying to bring another championship here. I mean, I think that's just the next thing that, DMV needs. So.
Definitely.
I gotta say, I gotta ask, just because like I watch a lot of a DMV school high school basketball. I drive down from New York a lot. I saw some. I saw New Hope play at Geico.
Yeah.
Y'all are some of the toughest defenders and just like grittiest. Like it's like a gritty style of basketball.
Yeah.
Like what is it about the DMV that kind of produces that on-court difference? Because like you just don't see players from other cities hooping like that.
Right. You don't. I think a lot of it comes from the culture of just like trash talking. I mean, you can't grow up in Maryland and not know how to defend your name. I mean,
if you can't Joan at 8 o'clock in the morning,
you're not meant to be here. I mean, like just being able to, come on the court, play against guys. I think that's what a lot of girls here particularly do. And, that comes with a lot of swagger. You got to go on the court with confidence. And I really do think that knowing how to zone, knowing how to, talk your trash is something that's like a big piece of just DMV hoopers. I think that's something that we all carry with each other. And it kind of separates us from other people.
I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, talking about confidence in yourself and in your game, period. You transferred to Ole Miss after playing at Maryland. They were coming off of pretty, questionable season before you came there.
Yeah, 0 conference wins.
Yeah, you said it, not me. But we're gonna keep it straight like it is. But yeah, I mean, talk to us about that decision and like how you came to that. Going out there, taking that risk and really just knowing like, hey, I know I'm good. So regardless of where I play, if I'm not playing at a top program, I know that, I'm going to be able to make a name for myself. So just kind of walk us through that process and how you came to that decision.
I mean, honestly, just playing for Maryland, I was able to still have a certain type of confidence, even though I wasn't playing the way I wanted to. Just playing for a championship level team, it really just gave me, I guess, hope that I can go to another school and really make a difference. Nobody really understood my decision with going to Ole Miss. I still don't understand how I got there. I really don't. I never took a visit, never met the coach in person. But it was really just a bet on myself. That's something I've continued to say throughout this whole journey was that, going to a school that didn't have, a championship level team, didn't have the tools around to pretty much be successful. It was something that a lot of people really wouldn't do ever or even think about. And I just had a lot of faith in myself. I had, respect, and I knew I put in the work to be able to really change a program. I've seen only a few players really do it. I mean, Asia Wilson coming in, and I really just wanted to pave my own path. I went to a team, I won rings, and I really wanted to finish my, college career just unique, doing something special, doing something that, for the first time, I could say that I wanted for myself. And going to Ole Miss was really just a bet on myself. I just wanted to continue to prove that I'm good enough, and I wanted to basically just showcase my game for the next level. And, that's what I did. So.
You definitely did that.
Definitely. And you got to play under, just an incredible person and human through and through. And Coach Yo, how much did she sway your decision and kind of wanting to go there and getting to, play under a Black woman head coach who we don't see enough of in the NCAA.
Right.
And what did you take away from those years with her that's kind of helped you now in the pros?
Yeah. Coming into Ole Miss, me and Coach Yo both had an understanding that, this was really a business decision. I told coaches when I went into my recruitment process that, I did want to play for a Black coach. And, I had, Dawn Staley, she told me herself, she had really never heard anybody really say that. And that's just something that is really just testimony to who I am as a person, and just really wanted to uplift my, community. And with Coach Yo, I felt like she really would give me the opportunity and the platform. I mean, I was going to be able to play for the SEC. Still to this day, I feel like it's the best conference in the nation. I've had 2 different tries, but just being able to go against the best of the best and, have somebody who looks like you really just represent, the growth and just the way that the colleges and the basketball, the direction that is going right now, to be able to have a coach in that position, to be successful, to, showcase and slowly start to build the team that she wanted. I feel like I was just that first stepping stone that, she did need. And I benefited out of it, and she, I think, has definitely benefited from that decision. But, a lot of people just aren't built for that. That's something that, I could say to tell people when they ask me about my story, how I got to Ole Miss. It takes a different level of character. Some of it's from being from Maryland, and the other part is just having the confidence to do stuff like that, to be different. And I feel like more athletes should definitely look to create their own path and, not so much leading towards a team that's already built. I mean, I feel like my decision and my story is a little bit more unique than a lot of other people. So I just carry that with me.
Definitely.
And talking about being a trailblazer and just creating your own path, I know I've seen you talk about being the first in your family to be able to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
I've also seen you be able to share some of the experiences with classes and going through the draft process and everything like that. Share with some of our listeners, what that, experience has been like, and just how, the triumphs that student athletes, go through.
It is not peaches and cream. I feel like my story in particular, just going through the draft and, having this extra process that, some people just aren't blessed enough to get. It is not easy. I still don't have my degree. I still have another credit I have to get through. I still have to deal with some professors who, they feel some type of way towards athletes, and they're really just, they just feel the way they feel, and there's really no changing it. But I'm still, working towards, like you said, being the first in my family. This is something that really means a lot to me. And to be more than an athlete is something that, my family has always put into me. So, I'm blessed to be able to be in this situation where I'm, starting my career. But, I feel like I still have, some unfinished business. To go to college for 4 years and, to not be able to finish the way you wanted to, because in the middle of, the end of your semester, you're going to New York for a draft and you're going to training camp 3 days after that. I feel like it's something that a lot of people really don't have a lot of knowledge on. I know me in particular, I didn't know anything about the draft process or, what my calendar would look like. And I feel like we could have better, prepared just any athletes for this, this time right now, because between ending the season and, starting my next professional game was probably like 3 or 4 weeks. It was a lot for sure. But I think everybody in a position that's been like this has been able to be successful, has still been able to, get both done. I feel like that's just what we do, especially as women. We're able to balance so many different things. And the fact that nobody really talks about it is kind of crazy to me, because this is not easy. This is pretty hard. But, shout out to everybody who's, been able to get both, and, to the people who really their stories just haven't been heard, because we really do put up with a lot. So.
Definitely. And just for the professors listening, which I don't know, we got anybody, but for the professors listening, let me just say that schedules for draft and start of training camp, those things are set not that far in advance from these institutions themselves. You know what I'm saying? So exactly. How it's very difficult for, you mentioned, to try and balance and get and achieve both without, the grace and help of others. And so unfortunately, I'm sorry that, that was not given. You're going to get it either way, regardless of somebody. You're going to get it regardless either way of somebody, kind of stepping in the way a little bit. But, hey, nothing ever comes easy, and especially to us women, to us women. So we always got to fight for what we do. And I know you're going to. But, looking to that draft moment when you finally, head to New York and whatnot, I know you got to spend some time on the hoop bus with J Money. Talk about that experience being in New York and then finally getting your name called.
That whole weekend was just amazing. It was everything that, you put the work in to lead up to that moment. And, everybody really just made it so special. From the hoop bus, that was so dope, to being able to hoop with some kids and, just really inspire people. That was one of the biggest moments, of my life. That whole weekend, was filled with just so many different moments to take, advantage of, that you could really inspire different people. And, even though it was a new chapter for, most of our young athletes' lives, we were still able to see the impact that we could have on communities. And I think that was just step one. So, being able to start our season, and most of us being able to go out there and, just build relationships and really just get, I guess, the first taste of what it is to be a professional was just super dope. And I mean, most of us had our families there. So it was just a special, special time.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of big moments, your grandma.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
get into it.
Yeah.
Like, you were on my list of best dressed for draftees that weekend. But grandma, though,
the one and not the two.
She did not come half stepping.
She didn't. I love my grandma. People still to this day, like, if I'm walking through the Mystics building, they're all talking about my grandma. Like, she comes to all the games, and I'm just glad she was able to, like, really step. It's her comfort zone, but to bring that into, you know, a new area that she had never really been to, she was a little nervous, but I said, Grandma, you have to step. Like, girl, you're coming in with Shakira Austin. You got to be looking like that girl. And she definitely took it there for sure.
How was that process like? Were you styling her? Is she? I know you said this is her comfort zone. So was she styling herself? Like, how'd y'all come to that?
That is all her.
Period, Granny.
Grandma. Yes. She sent me a few different outfits that she had, but it was really more so about the color. She wanted me to choose the color. So she sent me the purple one. I said, girl, you got to go with the purple. And she put all of it together. The hat, the heels.
The hat was the moment. Talking about Sunday's best.
What? She has closets full, rooms full of hats and heels. It is crazy to me.
First of all, I can't even walk in heels, and she can't. I don't even know how high those pumps were, but when you say step, she steps for real.
She steps. When she goes to church, she is there first thing in the morning. She's there for Sunday school, and she's staying after to make sure everybody gets food. So she be in them heels for 10 hours. Like, it's crazy.
Hey man, that's a skill. That is a skill.
No, it literally
in itself. Yes.
Literally. But she keep them sandals in her purse. So
that's how you do it.
That's how you ride. You always ride with a little pair. I'm a kicks girl, so I'm always got like a pair of Air Forces. So I'm like ready to like flip the
gotta change out.
Gotta change out.
You gotta change.
And then, you know, that same night, you know, you finally hear your name called. And not only that, but it's like to Washington, D.C., it's like home. Yeah. Like, you're going home. Like, what was that? What went through your mind when you heard that happen?
Oh, my God. I couldn't believe it. Like, I had my own little video recorded on the table, and me and my dad are talking. I'm like, I'm going back home. And he's like, I know. Like, you're going back home. This is before they even had the number one pick. So for it to really come through, I mean, God just continues to bless me. I see my family every game here in the stands. They scream, they go crazy. And I just don't take this moment for granted. I mean, nothing can really top this.
And they have a reason to be screaming and going crazy in the stands. Because, like,
they do.
Yeah.
Your rookie season's not even over, and you're already continuing to make a name for yourself in the W.
Girl.
Like, we already talked about you a couple of episodes since we started the pod. Multiple episodes.
Thanks, y'all.
Nah, seriously.
But, you know, you've been guarding and going up against some of the greats. I mean, Tina Charles, Asia Wilson, Sylvia Fowles, the list goes on. And, like, still putting up numbers, stopping them under the basket. Like, what's your thought process leading up to these matchups? I mean, I'm pretty sure these are some players you probably looked up to, like, playing. What's kind of going through your head while you're preparing for these matchups?
Honestly, from day one, it was just, I'm coming at everybody's head. You know, it doesn't really matter if you've been in here 15 years or if you're supposed to be rookie of the year. I mean, I feel like I have something to prove every time I step out on the court. And, you know, even though my role isn't as big as, you know, maybe someone would like it to be, you know, I don't take any opportunity for granted. So if coach tells me I got to guard Tina Charles, I'm going to guard Tina Charles. You know, I'm going to lock her down if I can. And that's just my mindset on both ends of the floor. You know, I'm not scared of anybody. So.
And you just kind of mentioned it, but like, we talk about it sometimes, but Mike Tebow is known to be one of the best drafters and the best, you know, like almost like scouters from when it comes to like, and you're a perfect example of that. Like he knew, you know, what he had with you. What have you learned from him, the assistant coaches, and then also, you know, Elena and some of the other players on that roster that have kind of like taken you under their wing?
Right. I mean, I've learned so much from everybody, from the staff, like you said, to watching players that I've literally watched highlights and trying to mimic my game towards. It's just, you know, truly just a a growth game. Every day I come in, I'm learning something new. I mean, I have vets on my team who, their preparation to the game is something I've never seen before. These are things that are like be able to take my game to the next level, and to see, some players come in 3-4 hours before practice, to watch, AC, who should have been defensive player of the year, she picks apart people's offense and figures out how to shut people down and lead people to scoring 0 points. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, I have Natasha, a shooter, should have been an all-star. Like, it just continues to, go on. And I just learned so much from them. Like, every day they come in, they, take me under their wing, just give me hints throughout any time. Like, I mean, if it's practice, if it's in a lift, they're just nonstop encouraging and trying to talk to me. And, to be in a place like that is, surreal.
Yeah, that's awesome. And wait, I got to ask, because Tasha Cloud is one of the best people I met, but not only that, but just off the court too. What kind of energy is she bringing to the locker room that like maybe you haven't seen or have before in other locker rooms?
I mean, Tasha's energy is unmatched. Like, on the court, she's a dog. Like, that's nothing else to it. She's a dog. She carries us. She leads us. I mean, she has influence on my energy. Like, that's the type of confidence like I like. And when it's coming from your PG, it's tough. It's tough. And off the court, I mean, she's literally like a walking activist. Like, everything that she can be a part of, she's going to be a part of. Like, gun control from Brittany Griner, like the list goes on. And to have a PG, to have a leader in a position like that and really being able to use her platform, it's just something that, like I said, I just don't take any of these moments for granted. I try to learn everything I can from her. She should have been an all-star. I'm going to continue to say it. She's a shooter. Yes. She's leading the league in assists. I mean, like, come on.
There were a couple snubs on that all-star. Yes, big ones. But you mentioned earlier going up and really just not having fear against some of these greats. Yeah. What's been the hardest matchup for you yet? Prepping or even after? What was the toughest one that you've had so far?
I think the toughest matchup would have to be when we played Seattle. I mean, Stewie, like, she's just elite. Both Sue Bird, Brianna. That would probably be the hardest matchup just because it's such like a versatile player. And, most of the other players I've had to scout against have kind of been one-dimensional. Usually they're like a strong, like, power force in the paint. And then you have sometimes like, Asia Wilson. But when you're able to just key in, like, I'm learning from, Toya, she's one of the best defenders I've ever seen. And, she's just nonstop showing me clips. And I mean, she's blocking my shot almost every shoot around. Like, we're going at each other. And just to have people like that really help you, like, key in on how to stop people or how to bait them into, like, blocking a shot. It's just really going to take me to where I need to. And it's just year one. So.
Yeah, hey, we're just getting started over here. Yeah, I know that.
Now we know. And you talked a little bit about this earlier too, but how has it been being able to play against some of the players that you like knew growing up with or playing against that are from back home in the DMV in the W now? Like, I know Jonquel went to Riverdale Baptist a couple years before you. Kyla was at Maryland. Yeah. How has that experience been, and like sort of who are those people that you kind of like talk to on a regular or look up to as mentors to kind of, figure out your way, through the league as a rookie?
Definitely. I think going into, my rookie year, I probably haven't talked to those players as much just because I'm competing with them. But, before that, like me and Jonquel, we would chop it up. I mean, she coming from Riverdale Baptist as well. She kind of followed me at Ole Miss. She was with Coach Yo. And, of course, I think the second time we were playing against each other, we're both getting attacked. And it's just like, that's just kind of, I know she's not from Maryland, but like, she kind of brings that swag of just like, talking trash and really owning who you are on the court. And I haven't been able to play against my dog, Kyla. She going to be back for sure. But she brings that same energy. I mean, me hooping against her at UMD, our pickup games, like you would have to separate us sometimes. Like that's just how amped up it gets, just competing and wanting to be the best. But yeah, it's a different vibe playing against, the hometown kids.
Definitely.
And I got to wrap it up with this before we end this and close this out. Being from the DMV, and I don't know if you're a foodie or not, or like you, yeah, you are, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, what places have you taken any of your teammates to some of those hometown spots, and what are the hometown go-to spots?
Oh my gosh. I have like a list in my notes of nons. Like, oh my God, the list goes on. Like I have oohs and ahs, we got soul food spots. We got like jerk chicken spots. They're all like ranked too. I have different options for all of them. Like, let me know.
You got to share the list. I'm from here, but I might have some stuff on there that I'm hip to oohs and ahs on U Street. Now that's a whole different category, but we might have to share that list. There might be some places I'm not thinking about.
We're gonna have to really link up on that.
Yeah, for
I need
sure.
some new spots too.
That's a bet.
Yeah.
But what's the one go-to? What's your favorite? Like right now. And I know that changes. What you got to pick one.
Oh my gosh. That is too hard, bro. I'm gonna probably go with what's that spot? Oh, is it Jerk at Night?
Yeah, Jerk at Night.
Jerk at Night
yep.
was fire. I had that a couple days ago. That's the only thing close to my memory. But Jerk at Night, it's not gonna let you down. Definitely not.
So now y'all listening, Jerk at Night in the DMV area.
You come to DMV.
You come in. Right. When I'm there next time, I'm going to hit you up. I'm going. That's
right.
Jay, we're going to have a little.
Yeah, we'll have to take you out, Camille.
Yes.
I'm going to tell them, give me some promo or something.
Right. You need to have your own Shakira Austin meal. Yes. I don't know if you were getting like the half chicken or rice. I had the tacos when I went, but like we have to set something up. Some type of deal.
Definitely.
Yeah, like a little Shakira Austin jerk chicken platter. Like, come on, there's gotta be a little plate. You know how they be making they be making those sweet green bowls. It's like the Naomi Osaka bowl. They gotta do that with you there.
Exactly.
So listen, y'all people listening over there.
We gotta figure something out.
We gotta hit us up. We'll plug y'all up. Well, Shakira, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited for everything you guys are gonna be doing this season. We know we're gonna see you in the postseason. Don't have a doubt in any of that.
Thank you guys so much. It was great being on here.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.